Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, back with another video for you. A few months ago on this channel, I did a video ranking the films of Studio Ghibli. I absolutely love their films, and I think I own every one of them that's like a main release in their catalog, and my love of Studio Ghibli actually drew me to some other releases a few years ago, namely vinyl soundtracks of the films they've put out. These are Japanese imports. They've just recently come out, but the one that I picked up was for Laputa, Castle in the Sky. This was the first proper Studio Ghibli film. Nausicaa actually came first, although it was technically done before the studio was founded. This film's always been one of my personal favorites. Just a classic fantasy adventure story. And Hayao Miyazaki generally always worked with Joe Hisaishi, who is a great composer. Most of the classic Studio Ghibli musical orchestral themes that you know, he's the guy that composed those. They call him the John Williams of Japan, and he's done the scores for over 100 films. The guy knows what he's doing, let's put it that way. There's a reason Hayao Miyazaki keeps rehiring him to score all his films. One thing also to know when it comes to a lot of Japanese anime music releases, generally they'll release both a soundtrack and an image album. The soundtrack is just that, the soundtrack for the film. The image album is like the early music that's composed prior to the film, just based on early concept art and things like the rough idea. So a lot of these films had both image album releases and soundtrack releases. In the case of Laputa, Castle in the Sky, this is just the soundtrack, although there is an image album available for this as well. I actually got my girlfriend the soundtrack and image album for Kiki's Delivery Service for her birthday because I found out those existed, and that's like her all-time favorite movie. I might show those off in a later video, but for now, let's just take a look at this one. Absolutely beautiful cover art on this. I also want to clarify that I do not read Japanese, so most of this stuff I have no idea what it says, but I'm certainly a fan of Studio Ghibli, and that's not going to change it. This right here is an obi strip. This can actually be moved and taken off, and I'll actually do that right now just to show the rest of the picture here. But see right there, you can see the back of the aircraft with the skull logo on it. Yeah, a little hard to move this obi strip, but I'll scoot that back down, and this actually opens to the left rather than the right, because in Japanese they actually read from right to left. If you've ever bought manga, you've probably experienced this, but we'll go ahead and crack this open, take a look inside the gatefold, and right here you got the inside of the I'm actually going to take this piece off because I'll show that off later. But here on the inside of the obi strip, you got a list of some other Laputa releases. I believe this also has an image album as well as I think there's an orchestral re-recording of the score. And then there's a list of some books down there. Unfortunately, that's all in Japanese, so I can't really tell you anything about that. Got some pictures from the movie. Got our young heroes. Not totally sure who she is, and I feel like an idiot doing this review and not knowing that. Then you got the picture of Laputa in the film, in a book. And then the other side here, and this is something that I particularly liked about this release, there's this cell art of the heroes. You can see them there on the side of Laputa during the climax of the film. And this piece is actually removable. I'm going to try to be careful and not get my fingerprints on this. But see, that piece right there you can actually remove. Unfortunately, in the film, our hero's grabbing onto a branch at the time, so it looks a little weird if you remove that from the background image that's inside of here. This is just what the image looks like, without that cell art in place. So I'm going to put that back on there. And here's how this looks like properly in place. Sorry about the glare, but pretty cool looking. And next I'm going to go inside the sleeve here and pull out the actual record. Yeah, it says right on there, Studio Ghibli Records. It's got the little Totoro logo. Once again, I don't speak Japanese at all, so I can't really say what any of this says. But again, great score for a great Ghibli film. This one, being an early work, tends to be overlooked by a lot of the later stuff, like Spirited Away. But it's one you absolutely should not overlook if you're a Ghibli fan. Now, having seen what I've seen as far as these soundtracks and image albums go, they're very well put together. These are great looking packages. I mean, like I said, I got my girlfriend the Kiki's Delivery Service ones, and they've got like some rough art inside the image album sleeve, and then the soundtrack's got just some more art from the final film. But this is a great series of reissues for some of the greatest animated films ever made. The only problem I have with these is the price. Unfortunately, these are imported from Japan. There's not a domestic release of these, so you're going to find yourself paying upwards of $50 per album. This one, I think I paid about $55 for this at one of the local Zia record exchange stores, and it says on here the price in Japan for this would be 5,000 yen plus tax, and 1 yen I believe is about 1 cent, so that being the Japanese price, I probably didn't pay a whole lot more than it would have costed in the equivalent Japanese currency. What is your favorite Studio Ghibli film? And have you had a chance to pick up any of these soundtracks yet? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also remember to subscribe to my channel for additional content and give this video a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson, and I'll see you next time.